It is Wednesday. We are talking about your money, my money, everybody's money. But today we're going to talk about bargain shopping. Now, this is something I learned from Grandpa Harry. I still to this day clip coupons. I'm the person online that upsets the person behind me at the grocery store because I'm whipping out my coupons. But this is an important lesson, not just for us, but also for our children. To help us learn more about this is friend of the show and financial maybe he is a literary expert, but financial literacy expert, Tom Henske. It's always great to see you today. So I just need to understand, why teach comparison shopping to our children at an early age? Will it really resonate?
Yes, it will resonate. The earlier, the better. It's important. Hey, I think about it like this. You need to teach kids to understand the value of a dollar, right? Then you've heard me say time and time again on this show, make it a habit. Life is all about habits, and financial literacy and financial planning is all about habits. So get them to start to think about it. And then finally, let them try it out with small dollars, because small dollar savings today leads to big dollar savings later on in life, whether it be their college education, purchasing a home, or purchasing a car.
Well, and this is what I was going to just say. So these are big picture ideas, but we want to start small. So where do we actually begin?
Dinner time conversations are the best. So I think it's fair to bring up maybe recent purchases, right? So make it real, make it today. If you don't have anything that was a recent purchase, if you have younger kids, bring them to the grocery store. I think that's a great place for them to learn comparison shopping. And then, include them on any new purchases. So for example, if the family's buying a car, include them in it, not only choosing what type of car, but then where to buy it from.
I love this idea because I have actually done this. I take the boys to our local Trader Joe's or our local Stop and Shop, and I say, we're not getting this because it's not on sale this week, but we can get this off-brand one. And though they grimace at me, they have learned, like, oh, if it's not on sale, then we have to go with the one that's less expensive. They may hate me in the short term, but I think in the long term, I think they can appreciate the lesson. But what is it that I am accomplishing when I am doing this lesson with my children?
Okay, you're first teaching them, don't just buy a product without paying attention to prices, right? Make sure that you compare similar items. Secondly, prices can change. So what costs X dollars today might cost either more or less in the future. So for example, Black Friday sales is a great time to wait. Third is different stores, right? Different stores can have the same exact product, but may have really different pricing. My mother always used to say, if you don't ask, you don't get. So everything is negotiable. So they should feel super comfortable asking, is this your best price? And seeing if there might be a price match guarantee. And then the last part is time is money. So this one is probably a little bit later in life to teach them that some purchases are just not worth putting in an exorbitant amount of time because of the savings you get. So for example, if it's December 24th and Christmas is the next day, I don't have time to go to 15 stores to price compare. So I'm just going to get what I'm going to get.
Right. And Tom, I know you don't wait till December 24th to buy your wife a huge diamond ring, just between us girls. Tell us about some apps that we can use to help us comparison shop, because our children they're very savvy when it comes to their smartphones and their smart devices. So let's give them another app.
Right, you have to talk to them using their language, and kids today, their language is usually on a screen. So for at least the middle school and the high school kids, I think there are a couple of apps out there that are helpful. First is called Shop Savvy. It's a mobile app for shopping. It scans products, finds them online, even sometimes looks at local stores that you could buy it from. My favorite name of the group is Camel, 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 and that's not a mistake, 3 camels. It's an Amazon price tracker that provides price drop alerts, things like that. And the last one is Coupon Cabin. So Coupon Cabin's another online hub just to get your best savings.
I love that. I'm going to download that immediately. Last but certainly not least, we know the reward system always tends to work with our children. So what incentive, I love this, what is the incentive that we should be using with our children when we're doing comparison shopping?
Well, I'm glad you didn't call it bribery, right? So we're just making it into a fun event to learn in our house. So make it a contest. Let them go against each other and see who could find the cheapest price. Sometimes what you could do is even let them save the difference. Now, I'm a little bit cheap in my house, so I'll usually say you get to keep half of whatever we save. But I think it's a great tool to use to incentivize them to learn. And then my favorite as a financial advisor.
I love this.
Is just showing them the future value of that savings. So if you were able to save, let's say, $1,000 from buying one car over another, show that $1,000 growing at 10% over 30 years. And it really helps conceptualize for the kids why it's important to save and price compare.
Tom, I love all of these tips. I'm going to bring the team in because three of us have children, and one of us will have a child at some point or has an important child in his life. I almost called it a bribe because, let's be honest, sometimes we have to bribe our children. But these are really important lessons. I think I certainly wasn't taught them when I was a kid. What about you guys? Questions for Tom?
I was. I mean, my mom and dad did a really good job of you don't need the name brand. And so the name brand wasn't important. It was what was on sale, similar to your point, Marisol, right? But my question is, when you become that teenager, you become the name brand person, right? Like you want to have, because it's it's the cool thing to do.
Starter jacket.
Right? Because so how do you kind of navigate the road of telling them, well, there's a better way to do this?
A psychologist would have a field day with that question. Talking about developing confidence in your kids. I think it's important to tell them that, yes, there are certain things in the household that we spend money on, and we're willing to go with the name brand. There are other things that we don't, and just helping them understand that there's a line between the two. It's a gray line, I admit it, but there's a line.
But I think in today's age right now, the pandemic, a lot of kids are home, so they're in their pajamas half the day. But what they are on are their smartphones and different devices, right? And what they're shopping are these different apps, or buying things within the apps so that their game gets even better. I'm not into that kind of gaming thing, so I don't know the details of it, but I know kids do. So how do you kind of pull back on that?
Their money. It's their money. If it's important to them, they use their money. And the way that they get that money is by earning. It snowed a lot here the last couple of weeks. Go out and shovel snow.
So true.
Go do something to get an allowance. Do something, but use your own money for things like that.
We make our 5-year-old pay for everything. Get off your butt, get a job.
Yeah.
No, but when is it too far? Because my dad is the king of, I can't go anywhere with him because he'll haggle and I have to crawl into a corner because I'm so embarrassed. To the point where I like that belt, Dad, $10. Everything has a number. When is it too much? Can you where's the line between I'm obsessed with bargaining and my kids are going to be embarrassed?
Right. So you don't want to be a Wall Street trader and try to negotiate every last dollar. So, for example, my wife and I were in Home Goods and there was a damaged product that we really wanted. It was a small little nick, and it's do we actually bring that up to the manager to save 10%, which winds up being $4, right? So there's a line, and you can cross the line. But as kids and teaching them, it's important to teach them you should do it each and every time, and then let them scale it back and make it socially acceptable later on in life.
That's right. You do get that discount on a little damage.
That's what Adam Sandler said in the movie. He used to throw the cans down in the supermarket.
All right.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Tom Henske said, the worst they can say is no, but you have to ask. Thank you so much for being on our broadcast this morning. We appreciate all your wisdom.
Thank you.
I mean, I've always eaten a Stop and Shop cookie, right? Rather than the name brand.
Dude, Stop and Shop cookies are the best cookies.
They are.
The bakery ones?
Pretty good.
Totally, 100%. Please give us your robot. We want it in the studio.
Exactly. Marty was wearing a mask yesterday.
All right, let's get the latest on the weather outside. Byron looks a little perplexed by all this.
Costco
cookies are good too.
Oh, their
man.
cookies are
Costco
fantastic.
cookies are awesome cookies. They're always the best though. The shop, they always have the good cookies.
Good cookies, good cakes,
My mom
Good
likes
prices.
their meats.
Listen,
Oh, no,
listen.
Stu Leonard's has a very good sheet cake.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Stu Leonard's is good. They've
Well,
got a
wait,
good apple
I got-
cider.
Really good.
I got something for you.
Uh-oh.
25 pounds of rice, $13. That's all I got to say, baby.